Welcome to another live stream, my people. Did Nolan Wells fell off the boat? Was Nolan Wells thrown overboard, my people? Let us hear Jesse and Fire take, my people. Let us play like the first 3 seconds of his take, and then we'll get into the video, my people. Thank you guys so much for joining another live stream. Please like the stream as you enter the stream, and if this is your first time seeing me on your screen, please subscribe to the channel.
They were driving crazy or driving whatever on the boat, and I think that Nolan fell off the boat and no one noticed. I think that they were something's going on. There's got music super loud. He's on the back. He's wasted, whatever, and they accelerate fast or they hit a bump or whatever. He falls off. Okay, it's a 10-mile boat ride. It's a 10-mile boat ride.
People, in these lives, I'm kind of freezing up, but I am going to give it a shot. I am freezing up. I am going to give it a shot. All right, my people, let us. Wells, have any family members in Jamaica or in the Caribbean? I don't know, but probably. But even so, my people, even if him don't have any blood from the Caribbean heritage running through his brain, his vein, people, the story still resonates with us, the people. It still does. Why am I in the small screen here, but people? I was trying to start this live stream this morning, and a big problem may have. So hopefully you guys are hearing me loud and clear on your end. So Nolan Wells made it on the boat. Something happened to him. A fight over Katie. Blood was on the boat. He fell and hit his head. He was thrown overboard. He fell overboard. And these are the latest alleged events that might have occurred after Nolan Wells and his friends departed from On Island on July 4th, 2026. People, welcome to another live stream. Please like the stream. And if this is your first time seeing it, is going in and out, in and out, in and out. But people, now, in this live stream, we'll be looking at the man overboard theory, right? And we're also going to be looking at that 911 phone call by people. I have two versions of that phone call, okay? Two enhanced versions. And in those two enhanced versions, what you will hear is basically the same damn thing, my people. And wanna let me know, right? If you guys are actually hearing the same thing that I'm hearing. This person by the name of Bart, my people. Yes, I said a love triangle went wrong. The internet not working with me this morning, so I can't pull his picture on the screen, my people, and I can't pull Katie picture on the screen. If you don't hear my voice, my people, please like the video. Yes, may I freeze up, but at least you guys are still hearing my voice. So that 911 phone call is the linchpin in the Nolan Wells case, my people. What really prompted those kids to call? Why did they refuse emergency assistance, my people? Why did they refuse emergency assistance? Those are valid questions, yes, that you would ask in a case like this where things look kind of shaky. If the boat was indeed taking on water, why did you allow another person who is drunk to tow that boat instead of having a trained professional tow that boat? That is another valid question, my people. Was it that something was on that boat that authorities was not allowed to see? A blood or a body on board? Those are valid questions to ask, right? The towing company was told by the boat owner, right, that a tow was not needed anymore. However, the kids were on the phone requesting a tow. My people, is that a red flag? I'm just asking questions. But people, Social media investigators will continue to probe and ask questions until the grand jury deliver its ruling, my people, because there's going to be a grand jury, yes, coming up soon, right? Will not be released until probably after the grand jury, my people. All right. Boy, the internet have beat me this morning and I don't want to stop the live stream, Let us see if I can play the 911 call and if it is going to come through nice and clean for you guys. Please like the stream, my people. Thank you guys for sticking out this one, even though it is a rocky one. Thank you so much. All right, my people. Let us get into the 911 call here. Let me see if I can turn this up.
Hey, we're at the.
So what you're listening to here, right? You're hearing the kid saying, Nolan, Nolan, is he dead? Is he dead? This is the enhanced audio, right? From the engineer. Okay. And then you're gonna also hear an enhanced audio from a 911 operator, right? Let us continue. And then the key thing that you're gonna hear.
Our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
You hear that one? You hear that one? Damn it, Bart. Damn it, Bart. Yes? You hear that loud and clear. So that is telling me, right? Hopefully that is coming through to you clear. Damn it, Bart. That is telling me that Bart, who is the college football player, was actually on the boat, right? That Nolan Wells was on. That is when we hear it. Damn it, Bart. So is it that Bart and Nolan got into a fight on that boat, my people, over the girl, Katie? Yes, my people, I was kicked out of the stream just now, my people. Hopefully, you guys are hearing me nice and clearly right now. Mhm. Let me see if I can pull back that video, right? All right, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, so let me just talk it through, okay? Let me just talk it through. So, in the recording, you hear, damn it, Bart, damn it, Bart. You hear, damn it, Bart, right? And what that is saying to me is that Bart was actually on the boat. That is when we hear clearly, yes? Is it that Bart punched Nolan? Nolan fell and hit the back of his head because in the autopsy, right, the second autopsy, they say they saw something in the back of Nolan Wells' head. The people, yes, that is when we hear clearly. And if that is the case, every single person that is on that boat, they're going to be in big, big, big trouble because it is a cover up. That is what I'm hearing. It is a cover up, people, and the whole of them are going to go to prison. If that is exactly what Yard Boss is hearing, and that is what the grand jury is going to be hearing, everybody are going to prison, the people. All right, let us continue. So this is another version from a 911 operator, and you can clearly hear the person in the background say, "Is he dead? Is he dead?"
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
And you hear the same thing. "Damn it, Bart." You hear the same thing there. "Damn it, Bart." So two people enhance the audio, right? Two people enhance the audio, and you hear the same thing in the two enhancement. "Damn it, Bart." So if the two of them are saying, "Damn it, Bart," that means Bart was on that boat. And something happened between Bart and Nolan, that caused Nolan to be passed out and alive, my people. And somewhere, somehow, Nolan Wells ended up in the damn water. When they made the call, right, they were in 30 something feet of water off on island. They were not far, far away from the island. Thus the reason why Nolan Smith's body would have washed up ashore, right? Right where he was last seen. These are all allegations. These are all speculations, right? But the speculation is actually adding up with where they actually found Nolan Smith body, my people. And pictures also show, right, that there was actually blood on the boat. Yes. All right, my people, we're going to call it a live stream. We're not going to continue anymore because the internet have beat me badly. Yes. And I don't like to stream. I don't like to stream this way. Internet have beat me. All right. Let us see what Lorna said. Lorna said, "Good morning, yard boss," and all. Right. And then Lorna said again, "Good morning, yard boss. I saw the video, but people are saying the video is not true, and it's AI when you can see that was Nolan who was thrown from the boat." Let us see. I didn't see a video where he fell off the boat. We're just analyzing, right? And saying based on everything that we know, the 911 call and all them, the thing there, it is a possibility that he fell off the boat, right? That is what Jesse and Fire say, right? I don't believe that he fell off the boat. Based on the 911 call them when me are here, my trained ear is telling me, because I have no bias in this case here, I'm not leaning on the black side and I'm not leaning on the right side, the white side, I am leaning on justice, okay? And what I believe happened based on the 911 calls is a fight broke out on the boat, between Bart and Nolan. If the 911 calls is true, yes, Nolan fell. Nolan hit his head. He passed out. None of them on the boat were doctors. They pronounced Nolan dead. Instead of taking Yes, my people, internet a beat me this morning. Let us try and wrap it up. Let us try and wrap it up. Let us try and wrap it up, people. We're gonna come back. We're gonna try this live stream again later on. Yeah, we're gonna try it again later on. Unable to load layout. All right, no worries. We're gonna try the live stream later on again, my people. But as I was saying, right, based on those two recordings, what I'm hearing and what the grand jury is going to be hearing is that a fight broke out between Bart and Nolan. Nolan fell, hit him head. They panicked. They called the 911. Nothing was wrong with the damn boat, right? The grandfather or the owner of the boat probably heard what was going on the boat, and he told them, oh, they don't need a tow anymore, right? Now, the kids were on the boat, and the kids needed a tow. Grandfather said no more tow. So nothing more than they did not want to see what was on the boat. Okay? Bart now, remember a tow boat them have right there, so Bart is the one who actually towed the crippled boat inland. Bart was in the vicinity. Okay, you heard them talking about Bart. Damn it, Bart. Damn it, Bart. Okay, that is what my analysis is saying happened under the boat there. If the 911 call is indeed factual, yes, and if those are the words that the grand jury is going to be hearing, every single person that was on that boat, right, in a big, big, big problem. When I'm able to do a live stream properly on this Acacia, right, we're gonna redo it again because they actually went out, and they hired an attorney. They went out and they hired a criminal attorney, somebody who defended Donald Trump, and they also raised almost $200,000 in legal fund. Why do they need that if they're all indeed innocent and nothing happened on that boat on the 4th of July? Why would they need a legal fund? Where would they need to hire a criminal attorney? I don't know, my people. Yes, but let us do this later on when we have a better no, yard boss, watch the boat was towed by the Coast Guard. Well, the boat was actually towed by Bart. The boat was towed by Bart. Bart was right in the vicinity, and he, based on the recording, was on the boat that Nolan Wells was on. The people, all right. So let's see what Conwell say right just now. Conwell say if Nolan fell overboard 10-mile ride, wouldn't someone notice that Nolan is not on the boat and turn back and check for him? Make no sense. The truth must come out. When I'm able to do a stream that is not interrupted by the internet, I'll explain everything that I'm hearing, right? And then you can draw a conclusion. In this case, Yard Boss is not necessarily drawing a conclusion and being reckless, right? I am relying on the experts, right? I am not an expert where you would say, no, voice enhancer. I am depending on an expert, okay? This lady, the lady who enhanced the voice, she has been doing this for many, many years. The 911 operator also enhanced the voice, right? All right. But Nolan father said that he was a good swimmer and he see how he could have drowned. Well, if he mean knockout, right? If somebody lick him in them temple, he fell, hit his back of his head, right? And knockout. And them threw him in the water. There's no way he's gonna survive that. Okay? And being a good swimmer and also being drunk, that is a recipe for disaster once you mix alcohol in swimming. Okay, we have seen a video recently where a man got mad. He knocked out his friend. His friend fell and hit his head, right? And he threw the person into the water unconscious, and the person died. Yes? You can't throw an unconscious person and it's going to come out and say he's drowned. That is what the autopsies are going to come up and say, he's drowned because he's unconscious, right? And when him go into the water, him going to take in water. That is a man who is still alive. The person is still alive. When you're unconscious, you're still alive. Okay? All right. Lorna, the video keep going off. I am gonna try it again tomorrow. Right now, I'm in the small box. I can't do nothing about it, right? But just have to deal with the live stream the way how it give me, right? All right. So Nolan father said in an interview that Nolan was a good swimmer. Okay. All right. Yard boss. Watch the news. The boat was towed by the Coast Guard. Yeah, was to be told by the Coast Guard. All right, let's just see what Shirley said. Shirley said, it looked like it's when they killed him, then they threw him overboard. Yes, 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 yes. Allegedly. Let us use those words allegedly, because them the boy, they're full of money. All right, let us see here. Royal say, I believe somebody did something to him, then put him in the water. Yeah, they put him because remember, they were not that far away from the island. They were right on Horn Island, right? When they made that call. And everything is adding up, my people, right? If he's right off Horn Island, let's say maybe less than a mile, it have to be less than a mile away from the island because the GPS put them at Horn Island. Okay, remember Nolan Wells' body was found on Horn Island. You hear the two enhanced versions say, damn it, Bart, damn it, Bart. That means that Bart was on the boat and a fight break out between him and Nolan. Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you still have your TikTok account? I can send you some video. Yes, just type in Yard Boss. Once you type in Yard Boss over there on TikTok, I will pop up and you will see my logo over there. Yes, just look for the account with 80,000 followers, and you will see it. I don't really pay attention too much to some of those videos over there on TikTok, right? Because a lot of them are like hearsays, right? I want to look on the actual footage, and the actual footage show that the boat that was quote unquote crippled that Nolan Wells was on was being towed by Bart's boat, right? Did you see all the cameras there? But they didn't want to show that a CC went there and did a video. Oh, okay, okay. All right, my people. We're gonna try and do this later on, okay? When the internet is much better. Take care. Thank you guys so much for joining another live stream. Love and love alone, my people. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. See you later. I'm out.